I'm sorry I can't be there tonight to celebrate what a wonderful artist, person, and genius Milt Kahl is. And knowing Milt, or having Milt as a friend, was one of the biggest things in my life. He was incredible. What a privilege, what a formidable artist and person. Very unique thing, unique experience. Anyway, since this is the Marc Davis series, everybody knows that Marc and Milt were very, very good friends, very close friends, and they had a mutual admiration society. Milt always said, what a great artist. Well, they both said it of each other. But Milt had this truth serum for, Ken Anderson said he had truth serum for blood, and he was honest like a child. And so you had to be careful. Anyway, one day he threw Marc out of his office yelling, "God damn it, Marc, you can't draw your ass." And Marc came back an hour and a half later with a very large, beautifully rendered drawing of his own ass. So he was like that. And I always tried to get Milt to admit, he was very modest. I always tried to get him to admit that he was the world's greatest animator. And he would always say, no, that's some of my better stuff. But it's a lot better than those other lazy bastards. And anyway, he was genuinely modest. But I tried for years to say, come on, admit it, you're the great. And then I had this wonderful opportunity. I rung him up, and I hadn't rung him for a couple of years, and he said he was much older, I forget, than I thought, and he wasn't well. And I'd always said, I'm getting better, I'm getting it now. And he'd say, yeah, come on, show me. Well, I never really did show him. So I said, I'll be right there. And I jumped on a plane from London and flew to Marin County to Lucasfilm with 20 minutes of The Thief, my best stuff. And there's this big, pink, womb-like dubbing theater, and they just dubbed Ewoks or something in the day. And so there's just empty theater, and right in the front row, Milt, his wife Julie, and I sat, and we ran 20 minutes of The Thief. Lights come up, 2 doors flashed open. One guy comes rushing from the top, I guess a projectionist. Another guy was the sound guy, and they both came and said, "Who did that? Who did that?" And I said, "Well, it's my work." And they said, "You must be the world's greatest animator." And I said, I waited. It was wonderful. I said, "No, this is the world's greatest animator." And Milt, he just kind of nodded. I said, "I gotcha." And anyway, when just before he died, I rung him up a couple of days before he died, and had a very emotional conversation with him. And I was always saying what a wonderful draftsman he is, and he would always say, "Oh, you're a kiss-ass, lay off, you know." And I said, No. I said, "Can we end this up? Can we resolve this once and for all?" I said, "Would you admit that these drawings were very beautiful?" "Well, maybe, okay." I said, "Well, who did them? Who do you think did them? Was it a fairy princess? Was it your assistant? Did you do the drawing?" He said, Yeah, of course." And I said, "Well, then, admit it, that you're a great draftsman." And he said, "Oh, all right." I admit it. And I said, "Oh, thank God that's resolved." Anyway, he died 2 days later, and I don't cry easily, but I was crying a lot. Then I realized I was crying for me. I couldn't ring him up anymore, which was one of the great things in my life. And he was and is the world's greatest animator.